all of the stuff that's going on this stoplight right here. You have the regular traffic camera that's farthest to the left there in your view. Then on the pole you have an eye in the sky camera, which is 360 degrees. Then you have what looks like 2 different types of antenna.
And a third one under the traffic light.
Then there's another camera. You've also got red light enforced traffic cameras, which are photo enforced, so they take your picture. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular cameras that I can see, plus what, 2,
several antennas.
At least 2 eye in the sky cameras and several antennas.
And as you could see from the yellow poles, it's not even well maintained. You could see the progression of how it was basically just thrown up there. Sure, it's been there for a while, but compare with what a traffic light used to be, just a signal.
And I mean, how many spy devices does society need to have on you at one traffic light?
You can tell how much it's cropped up. It's not even neatly kept. It's all just thrown on there.
There's more of them all over all these other ones too. All of them have cameras on them. It's insane. We are the most surveilled society on the planet. Look at this. How many different angles of my face are they going to get when I drive through this intersection? We are being spied on so much that when the Bilderberg group last year asked, does privacy exist? It was a rhetorical question. They know it doesn't exist. Exactly. It was like, mwah, does your privacy exist? No, obviously they know it doesn't. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how much that is. That's insane. While in the background, someone is getting pulled over with multiple police cars over here. 3 cop cars to pull one guy over. Look at that. This is the world that we live in, you guys. We're like monkeys in an open-air cage. That's all there is to it.
They're putting as much technology as they can on every installation.
Every street
corner.
corner.
So they can have total surveillance, I guess. And
I just read an article today about how the cops in New York City have some new detection for, it's supposed to be detecting gunshot noises. But oh, by the way, it also records all of your private conversations when you're outside. Why don't people care? I guess because
I'm not sure why that's news, because it's been in Austin for over a decade.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
See, I didn't know that.
I presumed it was in most of the rest of the country. And they're also putting in mesh networks that record your phone location as you drive through intersections. To my knowledge, it's just now being phased in a few major cities. There's so many different ways they're logging our location.
Why is that? Why do we need to live this way? You can't even act like there's freedom here. Why? Because I'm driving my car right now, that I have to get it licensed and inspected and pay all kinds of fees on it and possibly get pulled over every other 5 seconds for numerous things. We got pulled over the other day because we didn't have a light on our license plate, or our license plate light went out, and the guy wanted to look in the back of our car. This is what I'm talking about. You can't leave your house without having your picture taken. How many times? At every stoplight?
And
hundreds of times when you just drive through the city.
The fees have gone up for traffic violations too, probably 3-fold since I was a teenager. What is it? It looks like a bell or something.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know what these things are anymore. And what about these mesh networks?
Well, they're putting up mesh networks in a lot of cities now. I read about Seattle. It's probably in other places where they're recording cell phone location data from every intersection, and they have Wi-Fi hotspots that show up on the network sometimes that say, you know, 1st Street and the cross section, 2nd Street and the cross section, and they're pinging drivers' cell phone location data without a warrant, of course, and routing it through a mesh network back through all the host of 8 or 9 or 10 law enforcement agencies, through the fusion centers where the FBI and Homeland Security work, and they're keeping data on absolutely everything in real time. And could that be useful if they're in pursuit of a suspect? I suppose. It could probably bust a false alibi and prove that someone was where they said they weren't. But it's a total culture of absolute, pervasive, redundant, over and over surveillance, suspecting everyone before they've done anything, invading all kinds of due process rights, Fourth Amendment rights. Well, sure, we're in public, there's no expectation of privacy, but what about your cell phone data? There's no expectation of privacy with that either. That's hardly been established or explained to the public.
But it's so pervasive in our entire society. I mean, our schools right now, School districts are putting in infrastructure with grants from Homeland Security where they get to put in thousands of cameras in the school, and then they build a building. It's like this security building that's a hub for the school district, and someone sits there and watches all these cameras, okay? And then they give the school MRAPs, and all these kids end up, geez, look at that. And all these kids end up going to school every day, and they're brainwashed into thinking it's normal for them to be recorded, tracked, and traced everywhere they go. Look at that. Everywhere.
Don't look normal.
No, everywhere they go, all day long, being recorded, traced, tracked, and in some cases even literally chipped. They have to use their thumbprint or their palm to check out a library book or even buy their lunch now. What's next? Iris scans? I mean, these kids are being trained hardcore that the smart grid, surveillance grid is their lives, and it's normal to act like you're in a prison all day long.
And there's a weird schizophrenia because, we know that there's intelligent streetlights coming that have two-way communications. They're going to broadcast state-approved propaganda messages and spy on people on the street, maybe even watch them misbehave like they've tried out in London. And yet you'll have people denying that exists. At the same time, there's revelation of the meth hood with Snowden.
I don't even know what these little teeny white things are on top of that pole, which is not a light pole. I don't know what some of this stuff even is. It's insane. The amount of things that are recording us are insane. And the whole point with Snowden is that they wanted to show you, this is revelation of the method. They wanted to let you know you're being spied on all the time. And they wanted to normalize that and stick it in your face so that you would know it and become apathetic to it and not do anything about it. Which is what, just like 1984?